He, he's been a good friend of mine, and it's not because he's really good. Even if he stunk, I'd still call him a good friend of mine. He's been a good friend of mine for a few years, and we've had some awesome conversations. Sometimes when we play the game, we're on the road and we're away from our families, and there are a few guys that you want to pick to hang out with just because you just have a certain bond with them. And there's a few guys on this team that's how I chose to run my career, and that's what I chose to do. And Buster was one of them. We could talk. We could talk after the games. We could talk. He yelled at me during the game, but we could always talk. And rain delays, we'd hang out and we'd have dinner and we'd hang out on the plane, and we had some awesome conversations about just life. And we, I was running a little bit of a gauntlet the last couple of years, and you guys know some of my story, but just understanding grace and what it means to look on people with the eyes of grace and without judgment. And sometimes I had a really hard time with that. And I had to learn to just look with grace and understand what it meant to have relationships based in grace, to treat my teammates with grace, because you're with these guys forever. And sometimes you get frustrated with them because they don't see things like you see, and they don't talk like you talk, or they don't agree with the things that you agree with, or whatever. And you gotta have grace for them. And then you have marriages, and sometimes marriages can be conflicted, and there can be a lot of stuff going on there where you gotta just try to live with your eyes of grace with your wives and children, and then you're dealing with relationships and people and fans. And so Buster and I have had a lot of conversation on grace and what that meant, and just seeing this year, Buster, for me, just seeing what you're doing in the community and how you're seeing people and dealing with the pediatric cancer and children and your own family, and just some of the conversation you and I have had meant a lot to me when I played. It means a lot to me now. We text, and I just have had a great opportunity to get to know you and see just you grow, man, and you're so good at how you see in life a certain way. And I think it's just important to maybe share with people how you view grace, because it meant a lot to me and it was a huge impact on my life.
First of all, Jeremy, it's kind of weird you talking nice about me. And I will echo what you said, and I definitely enjoyed the times we had, the breakfast, the conversations, the breakfast that I paid for all the time.
I got a extra.
But Jeremy's been instrumental in my growth. I think I've learned that it's so important to surround yourself with people that have a strong faith, somebody that's in the Word, and that has dedicated their life to living in grace. I grew up in South Georgia, and my mom and dad would take us to a Methodist church, or I'd be at my grandparents' church, which is a Baptist church. And if anybody's been to a Southern Methodist or Baptist church, it's not like the music we just had playing here. It's a little bit different. So when I was a kid, I was there, but I wasn't there, if you know what I mean. I try to listen to the sermons, and I accepted the Lord into my heart at a young age. And I think what I found is there's certain times in my life, whether it's things are going good or bad, that you're on a great path and everything feels good. And you feel close and connected to God, and then for one reason or another, it's gone. And it's hard to explain. And for me, I fall into the trap when things are going good, whether it's baseball, whether it's home life, friends-wise, that I feel like I don't lean on the Lord as much as I should. And then there's the guilt that I feel that when something isn't going good, it's like, okay, now I need you, and just trying. Again, having people up here like this, people in the community, whether it's your church or friends, just being able to talk to somebody has been so big for me. And as Jeremy mentioned, grace is something that is, it's such a simple concept, but it's so complex at the same time. The fact that if you accept Jesus into your heart, that your sins are forgiven. it's hard to even, it's hard to put into words, and it's something that I still struggle to understand, because, you know, as a society and as people, as kids, when you're in school, if you do this right and you do this right, then you'll be rewarded. And if you don't do it right, you're going to be punished. God says, I love you no matter what. And it doesn't matter if you do this or do that. We're all his children. And something Jeremy and I talk about a lot is, you know, I'll pose a question to him and said, so where's the incentive to do the right thing? If you have grace, what's the incentive to do the right thing? And the reason is, if you live in God's grace, you don't have to make that choice. You want to do the right thing. You know, you want to help people, and you want to do good. And you know, I again, thank you all for being here today. And Jeremy, I'm sure you still have more to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah.